What is up, guys? Eric here from Real Film Reviews, bringing you another movie review, this time for the new Seth Rogen film, Neighbors 2 Sorority Rising. Neighbors 2 Sorority Rising stars the original cast of Zac Efron, Seth Rogen, and Rose Byrne, in addition to Chloe Grace Moretz as the newcomer. Now, this movie revolves around Rogen and Byrne, who still live in the home from the first Neighbors movie. We've moved about 5 years into the future, and now Chloe Grace Moretz, who is a freshman coming into college, finds out that sororities aren't allowed to throw parties. So she thinks that that's unfair, so she wants to start a sorority outside of the system that can throw parties. And because of this, she gets the house that Efron's former frat used to live in. He agrees to sort of mentor them to torment Rogen and Byrne even more, and of course throughout the movie crazy things happen. Now, to begin with, I'd like to say that I think the first Neighbors movie was alright. I didn't think it was great. I thought it was decently funny, and I thought it had a good amount of heart. And I thought that Seth Rogen and Zac Efron and everyone in it was actually a pretty good combination. However, Neighbors 2 Sorority Rising is way funnier than the first Neighbors film, and I think that Seth Rogen really pushes this movie along. I think that throughout his career, Seth Rogen has continued to improve, and regardless of the Rogen haters that will always be out there thinking he's just some fat guy that laughs funny, I think that he's really becoming a great comedic actor, and honestly a pretty solid actor as well after seeing him in Jobs. Rose Byrne isn't quite as funny in this movie as she was in the first, but I still do enjoy her character a lot. Efron, I think, gives a much better dramatic feeling performance in this movie. It isn't a dramatic performance, but I think he does a better job in this film than in previous ones, and I think Chloe Grace Moretz is honestly pretty solid throughout this entire film. The main thing that I want to touch on from this movie is how smart it is, and I know that that sounds like a strange thing to say when you talk about a Seth Rogen, just dumb comedy about frats and sororities, but this film is extremely intelligent in its script. Everything about it is poking fun at real issues that we have. From race relations to sexism, it takes real issues that we have in the United States and pokes fun at them, but in an extremely smart way. And sexism is what this movie is about at its core. It's about how men and women are treated differently no matter where you look in our society. And I think that this movie takes that idea and uses it throughout the whole script to plant these hilarious jokes within it. And by the end, the jokes aren't even sexist jokes where someone points out the sexism. It becomes to the point where we are at in our society where someone says something and after they say it, they just immediately apologize because they don't know if it's being sexist if they do that or not. I honestly think the writing of this movie is just much better than the first film. I think that it touches on a lot more points that actually matter to our society, and it also just has a lot more bits in it that are funnier than the first. Granted, the first one had the bit about the Batman and all that stuff was good, but this movie has a lot more that I feel is way more relatable. It's things that everyone can watch and really enjoy. My only real issues with this film are, for a comedy film, there are a few bits that go on too long, and because of this, it kind of messes with the pacing of the film, where after you've kind of gotten the gist of the joke and it keeps moving on and on and on, it sort of just becomes boring and it sort of loses some steam at those moments. And the only other thing is, I feel that there are some side plot points relating to characters that get brought up a couple times in the movie, and then they're also brought up at later points like it's supposed to be an emotional punch, but they never really go in depth on those things, so it feels like it was something written into the script to sort of make us care about a character, but then in the end they didn't take the time to flesh it out at all, and I felt that that was sort of just laziness, where if you were not going to flesh it out, then why even include it in the script? I'm going to give Neighbors 2 Sorority Rising a B. Overall, I think that this movie is superior to the first Neighbors movie in pretty close to every way, and if you want to just have a good time with your friends and go see a funny movie, especially if you're a college student, as a college student, the stuff about frats in this movie made me laugh out loud in the theater, and I would just highly recommend this movie to anybody that just wants to go laugh with their friends in a movie theater. Well guys, as always, I'm Eric. If you enjoyed this review, please do like, subscribe, comment down below what you thought of Neighbors 2, share everything we do here on Real Film Reviews, and I hope to see you guys later.